Oh yeah. Alright guys, welcome back. Survival Living here. So today we need to talk about this economy of this country. It's not good. It's not going to get any better at all. As a matter of fact, they're actually saying today is the worst day for the American dollar. Reason being, China just confirmed the BRICS currency confirmation with them. We're seeing the push. We're seeing the big push is going to be the devalue of the American dollar. This is coming. What we're going to see is a hyperinflation act, in my opinion, like Venezuela had. The American dollar is going to be worthless. The reason I'm saying this, guys, is that we keep seeing all these countries pushing, they're filing for applications into the BRICS. For those that don't know what the BRICS is, it is a new global currency used for world trade by other countries that is actually backed by gold and commodities. Our US dollar, we're not on the gold standard anymore. We haven't been on the gold standard in a very long time. This right here is a promissory note. The value of this, sure, it says 20 bucks, $20 on there. That's what it says. The actual value is nothing, because it's backed by a promise that it holds value. It's backed by a promise of economy. That's what this is. Pretty much trash. Now, do you need money right now? Absolutely. Do you need money in the future? Well, in a way, yes. But this is not money. This is fiat currency, based on a promise that it holds value, based on a promise that it has enough buying power to get the things that you need for your family. Pay rent, pay power bills, buy food. Unfortunately, we're already seeing a massive increase on food. Don't believe me? Take a look at your grocery bill and what you paid for today compared to 2 years ago. Big difference. Big jump. We're seeing more and more in inflation. We're seeing, especially in food. Yeah, the inflation rate on food has gone up quite a bit. Sure, you might not notice it if you only buy 1 or 2 items. But when you're doing prepping hauls, like we do here, when you go buy a couple $100 worth of food or 2 shopping carts full, yeah, that's me. And then you see that bill and you notice that your shopping carts are no longer as full as they used to be. Start looking at that receipt a little bit more. You look at how much more things have went up. An item, 10 to 30 cents more. It doesn't sound like much, does it? Now you start adding 100 items. Each one went up 10 to 30 cents, etc., etc. So with food, you need to be going to the stores. All right, I've been on this platform for over 4 years. I believe April 1st was my very first video 4 years ago. Yeah, April Fool's Day, believe it or not. I've been showing weekly preps, getting food put back. When the dollar is trash or hyperinflation, this 20 does not hold its buying power anymore. You know, they actually said that the value, buying power of the US dollar is down 91% from when it first started its rounds as a global currency. Down 91% of its buying power. The value has been dropping for a very long time. In other words, you don't get as much for your buck. Yeah. When this goes down, guys, you need food. Canned goods, dry goods. This here's for Patriots. It's one of the companies we're affiliated with. It's just easy for me to grab instead of go pull through my stocks. Guys, you don't have to buy the long-term food store stuff. I mean, we've got them. We love having them. It's right here. It's Mylar. That's 5 pounds of lima beans. Yeah. bought at the store, large lima beans. O2 absorber in there. That is food put away. That food right there is going to last, oh, good 20 years, as long as it's stored correctly. When I say stored correctly, I mean that it is in a temperature control environment. Will this stuff last longer without temperature control? Yeah, it will last longer than if it's just sitting on the store shelf. If you got it Mylar'd up, of course it will. But I'm trying to teach how to extend the life of your food as much as possible. That's why we do videos on Mylar. We show freeze-dried food, canned goods. I don't care if you only can get ramens right now. That is food. Ramens, 370 calories per container. Now, there is a lot of MSG and all kind of other good stuff in that packet. And I believe that ramens are actually an egg noodle. I don't really know for sure, but I eat them. They'll make a turd. They'll put food in your belly if that's all that you have. Do I recommend having better food? Yes, I do. But if only thing you can do is get a box of ramens, which is what, $3? I don't remember now. I'm horrible with numbers. For a box, you know, a 12-pack, like 20-some cent to 30 cents a piece. That's a meal. And I'm dropping fiat currency everywhere. But food is extremely important, especially when the dollar takes a crap. And it is. For those that don't believe that we're going to be going into any major conflict, you need to wake up. When we see this push of the BRICS threatening more and more on the US dollar, better believe the U.S. is going to be going to war over it. You think that they want their dollar devalued? You think they want to lose their position in the world trade? No. They will go to war. This whole thing with Russia, China, Russia, and Ukraine, it's just getting started. It's getting set up. It has nothing to do with Ukraine, in my opinion. I believe this whole freaking situation is all about the US dollar. Yeah, that's my opinion. Please put your opinion in the comments all you want. I don't care. I read everything. Everybody has their own opinions on the situation. A threat to the US economy, yeah, it's going to get those gray hairs worried. And they will go to war. Do a false event, whatever it takes. Hey, we had to go to war. That's the excuses. So, food. You need that food put back. And hyperinflation hits the American dollar. Your can of beans, your 5 pounds limas. I think I bought the 5 pound limas for like $6, $7 when I had sealed these things up. I'm expecting like $40 for a 5 pound bag. Yeah, it's going to get bad. It's going to get really bad. No, I'll take that back. I believe there were 2 pounds per container with the limas, and I had to split them up and put them in. Dollar is going to be worthless. Food's going to go through the roof. Now, when it comes to paying rent, power bills, things of that nature, yeah, you need some form of currency. Well, in the case of Venezuela, and this is what we use here as preppers, we use this as an example. There's all kind of other preppers that also look at this with bigger YouTube channels than me, and we all came to the same conclusion, pretty much, that we're going to see Venezuela here. When their dollar collapsed and hyperinflation hit Venezuela, this right here, they had trash bags full of cash to buy the exact same items, to pay rent, to pay electricity. Also, they wouldn't get kicked out of their house. For those that couldn't pay with stuff like that, they resulted in gold and silver. This is a 10-ounce bar. I've always pushed on precious metals once you have food and other supplies stocked up. Precious metals. Big arguments I see with the people that are uneducated on the issue and the topic is that you can have all the gold and silver in the world. I would never trade you my can of beans. I'm not trading with you. During Venezuela's hyperinflation, commerce was still open. You could still buy and sell. You still had to pay your rent. What they were doing, and I reported on this along with other YouTubers, they were taking flakes of gold and silver and paying for haircuts, meals, rent. Because this holds value. Precious metals do. They were not paying their rent with a can of beef. I should have grabbed a can of beans for everybody because that's using my phrase. No. Power company was not accepting a can of bean for your power bill. They wanted something tangible, something of value. And that, my friends, is why we stock up gold and silver. Because your canned food, your dry goods, medical equipment, your bartering items, they're all great to have. And I definitely encourage you to have them, but most of your bartering items are only going to work in a complete SHTF, grid down. It has all gone to hell. Now you have an item to trade with individuals. When the economy takes a crap because the US dollar drops out, the rent man's not taking barter. He wants form of currency. It'll either be trash bags of this, or it's going to be a simple 1 ounce silver coin. This is a round. This is in a coin. It's not currency. This is why we push that. You don't want to stock up on precious metals? That's fine. I'm not saying you have to. I'm not saying you have to do anything. I just show you what we do here. Give you our thought process and why we are doing things. We look at everything as much as possible, try to look at it from all different angles. But to be so damn stubborn, I would never give you blah, blah, blah. The Bible says they were throwing out their gold and silver into the streets. That was for the apocalypse. All right, excuse me, not the apocalypse. I'm misphrasing, and I don't like doing that with the Bible at all. Although I do believe that the Bible has been manipulated by man. We don't have the whole book down here. Catholic Church has that, and it's locked away in a vault. Use religion to control the masses. That's what people do. That's what organizations do. But the phrases of you can't buy or sell, your gold is worthless. That's when they're talking about the mark of the beast. You have to take that to buy and sell. Just because a SHTF event happens in America, in which it will, doesn't mean it's the end of the world in a biblical sense. For some reason, people here in America believes that everything revolves around them. Everything. What about all the people that's been going through wars nonstop? Africa. Militias just mowing down innocent people. Starvation, famine, been going on for generations. I've seen the comments. And the first plague will be famine or whatever. This has been going on for a while, guys. Just because something major happens does not mean that the clouds are coming down and the rapture is happening and Jesus is snatching all the great good disciples off the face of the earth. We go through shit. My apologies. I get revved up. Now, I had a rough night last night. It was a very long night. I get revved up when I see how quick people shut down and block information out because it makes them uncomfortable. And one, either their preparedness level. Two, makes them uncomfortable because now they realize that you might be onto something. They have to prepare, but you know what? I just don't want to have to do it. I just see the Karen screaming. My apology if your real name is Karen. You know what I'm speaking of. But even the snowflake mentality here on the internet and in people in general that I run into all the time. People need to be preparing for what's coming. It's your responsibility to take care of your family. Now, guys, if you are interested in long-term food storage, hey, we have links. It helps out our channel. But I've always said you need to get canned goods and dry goods first. Rotational stock. This is stuff we use before you ever get into the long-term food storage. Get your rotational stock. Now, if you don't want to deal with rotational stock, then yeah, by all means, just go with long-term food storage. You need to have water to reconstitute and cook food. A lot of it. All right. Precious metals should be the last thing on your list. All right. Really should be. My opinion and my belief, food first. How much food do you need? I say stock up as much as possible. All right. We were over a year's supply of food before we ever started getting precious metals, gold and silver. We had a year's supply of normal rotational stock before we ever got into it. That's my guideline. Get that food first, then do that. That way, when everything happens and you're being threatened with eviction and you got all this food in the world, but you can't get out because you're dealing with a institution, not a one-on-one bartering system with a landlord. You're dealing with a HOA, whatever it is, that, whatever. The world is still turning. Government is still in place. Rules are still there. Just the economies take a shit. Hey, it's happened before. Great Depression, stock market crash. People's been kicked out of their home. When they had the Great Depression, people were coming and getting removed from their farms by the banks because they owed money to the bank, had no way of paying it. To them, that was complete SHTF, the end. Look at it now. The world is still turning. Those people lost everything. Having precious metals would have helped. Now, there is a big thing about a lot of precious metals were taken. They actually put in law on gold that you had to turn it into the U.S. government. That was all one big scheme. Once they got it, they revalued the gold. I think they bumped it up to like $36 an ounce, and they were buying it for like $18. They gave people that money, and then they turned around and flipped it again so that they could back up their currency, the U.S. currency. It was all a scheme. This, they can come for that. You know why? Because technically, even though it's in your pocket, it is still the property of the Treasury Department. Yeah. This is one of the reasons I don't buy bullion, coin rounds and stuff like silver dollars. I just don't do those, and it's my belief on that. I know I could be wrong, but it's my belief, and a lot of people argue with me on this. My belief is the same as the gold dollars and all that other stuff, that whatever has the U.S. currency on it, if they want it, they'll come back and get it. This is a generic round. The United States does not have any rights to it at all. None. Because it's not minted by them. That's why I go generic. Just my thoughts. Please, people, y'all need to be putting food back first. Get food. Like I said, I don't care if it's just a whole bunch of ramens. Personally, you need healthier food. But I eat this all the time too. Water filtration, medical supplies, bang bang sticks, freedom seeds, way of defending your stuff. Get all these things in place. We're going to need it. All right, guys. Speak to you later.